Yeah. Okay, welcome everyone. I'd like to start off by doing my usual, acknowledging the traditions of the Ngarluma people on whose land we are gathered here today, and to notify all those in attendance that this is a live stream recording, a live streamed meeting, and a recording of the meeting will be made. We're moving straight on to the exciting stuff, and that is the election of the Deputy Mayor and the ballot draw for members to occupy seats. But first, 2.1 is the declaration of office, as we have two new councillors that need to be sworn in, one returning councillor and a new councillor. Not yet. Martin, are you able to stand up to the lectern? And Anthony, are you able to conduct the swearing in?
I, Martin, born of 11 Desert Pig Boulevard, Nichols, 6714, having been elected to the office of Councillor of the City of Karratha, declare that I take office upon myself and will duly, faithfully, honestly, and with integrity fulfil the duties of the office for the people in the district according to the best of my judgment and ability, and will observe the local government rules of conduct regulations 2007.
Okay, next up is Dava. Would you please attend to the lectern?
I, David Gillam of 29 Ironman Road, Baynton, 6714, having been elected to the office of Councillor at the City of Karratha, declare that I take this office upon myself and will duly, faithfully, honestly, and with integrity fulfil the duties of the office for the people in this district according to the best of my judgment and ability, and will observe the local government rules of conduct regulations 2007.
Okay, well, we can now formally introduce our latest members, Councillor David Gillam and Councillor Martin Byrne. David, welcome back. Martin, welcome to the team, welcome to the table. It's excited to have you here. I look forward to obviously working with everyone around the table, including the new councillors, on a very community-focused agenda that we have in the future. Next, now that is done and everyone's officially sworn in and is now able to take part in the meeting, we'll go to 2.2, which is the election of the Deputy Mayor, in which case I will, in accordance with Schedule 2.3 of the Local Government Act 1995, and I'll hand over to the Chief Executive Officer to conduct the ballot and the election for the Deputy Mayor.
Right, thank you. Thank you, Mayor. So nominations are now open for the position of Deputy Mayor of the City of Karratha. Councillors may nominate themselves or they may nominate another person. It needs to be provided to me in writing, and there is a form available for every councillor should they wish to do so. I can advise that I have received 3 nominations, but just before I name those, is there anyone else in the room who would like to nominate or nominate to be Deputy Mayor and to go into the ballot? No?
Now's the time.
Okay, all right. So look, on that basis, I can advise that the nominations are now closed. I have 3 nominations that we will vote on. The first is Jeff Harris, the second is Jodie Swaffer, and the third is Sarah Roots. So if I can ask our administrator to please put them on the ballot paper in that order, which is Harris, Swaffer, and then Roots. and if you could prepare those ballot papers for us. So what we will do now is, while we are preparing the ballot papers, I'll provide the opportunity for each candidate to provide a public statement to their colleagues as to their aspiration and motivation for applying for this important role. And so once again, I'm going to go through the same order, which is Mr. Harris, then Ms. Swapper, then Ms. Roots, in that order. If I can just ask for you to take sort of between 2 to 5 minutes, depending on how passionate you're feeling.
2 minutes.
Well, it's up to you. It could be less.
Deputy mayor position. We're not running for the mayor.
Okay, it could be less. But I'm going to hand over to you, Jeff.
Would you like the candidates to stand up when they make their speech, or?
Look, I think that actually would be a really great idea. So I think that's.
Yeah.
And if you, Jeff, if you step more into the centre of the room.
On TV.
Yeah, you'll actually end up on TV, which is on our live streaming. I'm sure the community would be interested in hearing what your views. So, Jeff, over to you.
Thank you, Virginia and Mayor. G'day, my fellow councillors. I don't take this opportunity very often, too lightly, to apply for the deputy mayor position. I'm passionate about the community, and I'm keen, after having 2 years off from the council, to hit the ground running, and I think I could do the deputy mayor position well. I'm in that stage of life. I've shut my shop down. I've got plenty of time to commit to being a deputy mayor, and the time that it will take. My kids are not young anymore. My youngest is 15, and my oldest is 18. So they look after themselves pretty much these days. My wife has she's a manager, and she's got a good job where she can come and go as she pleases, and what have you. So I've got a good support at home. All right, I've had this will be my 3rd time on council, so I've worked around the table for 8 years, and have gained a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge about local government, and I feel that for the things that are coming up, I can commit. I know, in the past, to be a good deputy mayor, you need to have the time, and you need to be able to, if the mayor rings you up at 5 to 7 and says he can't make it somewhere, he needs someone that's going to be able to do that. And I guarantee to you that I will be able to do that for him, and help him out in those commitments. So thank you, and
fantastic. Thank you.
That's all.
That's great. Okay, can I ask Joe's to make a statement to council and the public as to why you would like to be deputy mayor? That's quite heavy, right?
Great. So thank you, Mayor and councillors. I'd like to start by saying I'm proud to be a part of this council. As many of you know, I've called Karratha home for the past 15 years, and across this time I've worked within the resource industry, local government administration, state government and the private sector. And I've always had a passion for strengthening our city and working together to get things done. While I may be relatively new to council, I'm not new to being part of high-functioning teams. I understand the importance of clear communication, mutual respect, and ensuring that every voice feels heard. That's what transforms a group of individuals into a cohesive and effective team. If I were to serve as deputy mayor, I see my role as twofold. Firstly, to support the mayor, to ensure continuity, to help lead when required, and to uphold the values and direction of this council. Secondly, to be the link between the mayor and all councillors, to keep communication open, to check in with how we're all feeling about upcoming matters, and to make sure that we maintain a healthy environment for robust but respectful debate. I believe that effective leadership isn't always about agreeing. It's about maintaining trust and professionalism, even when we see things differently. That's the kind of culture I'd like to help foster as deputy mayor. I also would like to acknowledge Councillor Roots as a strong candidate for this role. I've genuinely appreciated the transparency and professional approach we've both taken during this process, and I respect the integrity and commitment that you serve to this council. I bring to this role the time, energy, and commitment it deserves. I'm prepared and available to attend meetings, briefings, advocacy opportunities, and to represent the city whenever needed, whether that's here locally or whether it's further abroad. And finally, I'd like to acknowledge the support of our community. In the recent election, I was privileged to receive the highest number of first preference votes, with preferences distributed across many other candidates. I see this as a reflection of the connection I have across the community, and I'm committed to honouring that trust by contributing positively to the leadership of this council. I believe we have a real opportunity in this next term to strengthen not just what we deliver for our community, but how we work together in doing so. So thank you for considering my nomination as Deputy Mayor. I'd be honoured to serve in this role and to continue working alongside each of you to make sure our council remains united, focused and driven.
Thanks, Councillor Swaffer. And then last but definitely not least, if I could ask Councillor Roos to do the same, to do likewise. I rise tonight to put my name forward for the role of Deputy Mayor with a deep respect for the community that we serve and the people who put themselves forward to lead it. I want to begin by acknowledging Councillor Swaffer, who has also expressed her interest to nominate. It's been entirely refreshing for me to engage in such a respectful, transparent and cooperative exercise. I am galvanised in my confidence that whoever is chosen, this council will have made the right decision and will be supported with integrity and commitment. In this chapter of the City of Karratha, as an organisation and local governing body, we welcome new decade-long strategies, bold plans, new goals, and ambitious turning points like this region has never seen. To lead effectively through these times takes courage and creative leadership. I applaud the courage of those who ran for the privilege to sit at this table, as well as each of you, my fellow councillors, who have also been elected to do so. Whether newly elected or returning, every one of us has shown the bravery and vulnerability required to lead. And I'm energised by the opportunity to work together over the next 2 years at the end of my term to lead boldly and with heart to shape the future of this region. Now, it's not often one would put themselves forward alongside one of the most popular leaders in living memory. However, I do aspire to walk a path forged by many great leaders in our community. Just 2 of the many leaders that we are lucky to have here, I would like to call out, and that would be Nana Pansy Hicks, who is a Nullama matriarch, who has always worked for the outcomes for her community in the face of much adversity. I'd also like to call out Miss Nanette Williams, who was the first female councillor of our region, who this year was actually ordained by the Order of Australia Medal, and that was for her pursuits to improve health and social services throughout the Pilbara. It is their legacy that reminds me that leadership is not about titles and it is about service. And to that point, I'd like to say that my commitment is not fickle, and if I were not to be chosen, I would still take my role as councillor with the same robust and passionate stance as I would. I'm putting my name forward because I'm interested in doing more. I've grown significantly during my term on this council, so the previous 2 years. I see the deputy role as an opportunity to provide an additional layer of care to the mayor, to the council, and also to the community. For my part, I offer a leadership style that is grounded, ethical, humble. My ego is in check. What drives me is my wholehearted love for Nullama, the place that we all call home. And the people who reside here. I believe in leadership
of values over visibility and that listens more than it speaks. From the teachings of thought leader Dr. Brené Brown, I'm a learner, not a knower. I don't seek to be right, but I do seek to get it right. I bring a willingness to have hard conversations, led by heart and held with respect. I believe in measured, solutions-based leadership that supports others to thrive, and thanks to Mescott for providing me that opportunity. So the strategies I've devised to take care of these three main stakeholders that I've identified if I were to be elected as deputy: for the mayor to be able to be available, present, attending additional weekly meetings above and beyond our council catch-ups, to gain insight and understand where I can be most effective, offer support as a sounding board for ideas and elaborate visions, and complement the mayor's strength in corporate and government stakeholder relationships by furthering grassroots community connections, ensuring we're strong at both the top and on the ground. For the council, my strategies are to prioritise open two-way communication, and I've created a contact reference sheet to understand how I can best serve. For the council, I'd like to be responsive and available, which I am capable of doing. My capacity is now open. Having been an owner of a micro business locally, that has been paid right back. And at the moment, I currently see myself volunteering in the community and not much else other than that. For the council, I'd also like to accommodate reasonable requests to ensure we function as a high-performing team. Obviously, catering to whatever your preferences are communication-wise. I'd really like to facilitate optional team building activities outside the chamber to strengthen our working relationships to facilitate a high-performing team. I would like to create space for hard conversations held with honesty, respect and heart. And then for the community, I'd like to continue to champion this region with the same passion that's led people to ask if I work in tourism. I'd like to honour the diversity of our community, its differing abilities, beliefs and worldviews by increasing connection and visibility of what it is we do here as a council. Work within local government and administrative boundaries to demystify what our roles are for the community. I'd also like to advocate for civic engagement, encourage more people to participate in local government. If entrusted with this role, I will bring my full self to the task, steadfast, collaborative, and always guided by the best interests of our community. And thank you for your consideration.
Fantastic. Well, you've got some, yeah, that's right. You've got some really difficult choices in front of you, council. Okay, so the next step in the process is that the governance officer will provide each of you with a ballot paper. This will be a secret ballot, so you'll be asked to identify your number one choice, please, of candidate. We need 5 ballot papers for any candidate to be elected to the deputy mayor. So because we have 3 candidates, we will do an initial count. The person with the lowest number of votes will, if we don't reach that 5 votes on the first time around, then the person with the lowest number of votes will be excluded, and then we'll do a second round of voting with just the 2 remaining candidates. And then we'll continue with the voting process until we hit a majority of 5. So you should all have your ballot papers. The governance officer has a ballot box. He will now come around and receive your ballot paper. And then what we will do is at the front of the room, we will commence the counting, and front of the room being where I'm sitting up here. Go back up.
The option preferential voting.
No, I'm not up for preferential voting. Luckily, as the returning officer, I get to choose the most appropriate method. So today I'm going to go first past the post with a vote of 5.
All the power.
All the power. Yeah.
Always forget the plans, yeah. What's up top of the table? What's working? Sorry. So I'll just.
And Jeff's sister was.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll ask the governance officer to tip the ballots out onto the table or lift them gently and we put them on the table. Fantastic. All right. So what I'm going to do is open them one at a time. I'm actually going to we'll do a bit of a shuffle because we know who put theirs in last. All right. We don't want to. So I'll just mess it around a little bit so we don't get into trouble. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open them up one at a time and we will count those votes. And as I said, we're looking for that magic number of 5. So the first vote goes to Swapper. Swapper for another vote, that's a tally of 2. Swapper with another vote, a tally of 3. Swapper with another vote, tally of 4. There's 1 vote for Harris. A second vote for Harris. A third vote for Harris. A 4th vote for Harris. And 1 vote for Roots. So on that basis, I'm going to do another round of voting. Councillor Roots, thank you so much for your participation and your passion for the role. You are now exiting the process and we go back to candidates. So councillors, you now have Councillor Swapper and Councillor Harris as your 2 options. And interestingly, we only had 1 vote. So you've got a time to reflect and think about whether you would continue with that vote. But we will end up with someone with 5 because we have an odd number. So I will wait for that voting slip and let's see how it unfolds.
Just exclude Roots.
Thank you. Okay, so we're providing you with the same ballot paper, but this time you are choosing one of either Harris or Swapper, please.
Okay, exciting.
The next layer of democracy, right?
It is, yeah.
That you're enjoying it.
Yes.
I guess I'm really good at tuning to the age.
So everyone should now have their secret ballot paper. We'll now have the governance officer come around and collect your votes again. And very much. And we'll do another count. So once again, we'll open up those ballot papers and I'll pull them out as we go.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
you're fresh.
Huh?
Fresh.
I'll do a.
Losing it.
Huh?
Awesome, backing out gently this time.
You didn't take them out gently? No, you just toss them on the table. I'm going to just like do a informal shuffle here. In case anyone's watching how they fell out of the box. All right, let's go. All right, councillor Swaffer has 1 vote. Councillor Harris has 1 vote. Councillor Harris has 2 votes. Councillor Swaffer has 2 votes. Councillor Harris has 3 votes. Councillor Swaffer has 3 votes. Going in Brownlow. I'm feeling like this is a Brownlow moment. All right. Councillor Swaffer has 4 votes. Oh, I do have 2 in. Councillor Swaffer has 5 votes. And on that basis, I declare Councillor Swaffer the successful candidate and the Deputy Mayor for the City of Karratha. Thank you. So we will now proceed to a swearing in process, and I will hand over to Mr. Anderson, our JP. Thank you. Thanks.
Yep.
Okay, so Councillor Swaffer, if you should join the JP on the room. Back in the room, yeah. Changing on. Presentation.
I, Jodie Swaffer of 36A Shadwick Drive, Milliswell, having been elected to the office of Deputy Mayor of the City of Karratha, declare that I take the office upon myself and will duly, faithfully, honestly and with integrity fulfil the duties of the office for the people in the district, according to the best of my judgment and ability, and will observe the local government rules of conduct regulations 2007.
Yep. Thank you so much, councillors, and I now return the meeting to the presiding member.
It wasn't that exciting. All right, well, congratulations, Councillor Swaffer, being appointed as the newly elected Deputy Mayor. I look forward to continuing to work with you and look forward to working with the community and providing that leadership that the City of Karratha requires. So congratulations. Right, next on the list is 2.3, which is the ballot draw for members to occupy their own seats, of which I will have Henry with the magic balls.
So just to explain to the community who are watching this process, it is a long-held tradition of local government that there is a ballot where we allocate individuals to their seats. Each seat has a number, numbered 1 to 8. Clearly the mayor stays at the end of the table. And so what we've done is we've got a draw that is occurring, and the governance officer is drawing each name one at a time and allocating them to a seat. So while that's occurring, we'll just pause for a moment. So we have some balls with names in them.
Seat 1.
What's the coin?
Is this seat 1?
Is this seat 1?
I think it's required. Ava Gillam.
So can I just, yeah, so
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
number 1 seat is where Councillor Furlong is at the moment. So
we'll move at the end.
we can. Yeah, why don't we do that?
Oh, I have to sit on Councillor Furlong's lap.
You don't want to shuffle her off.
She might be the last one to come out.
It is a little bit like a
Brenton Johansson.
Number two.
Number 2.
Councillor Johansson, number 2.
Gillum.
Gillen, yes.
Councillor Furlong, 3.
There you go.
You don't know. You switch it right with Tony. We can wait. We can wait for a moment.
Councillor Harris, 4.
Okay. So that makes up that side of the table, and now we start at the bottom end of the other table and make our way up. So
Councillor Roots, 5.
one spot to the left, to the right there, Councillor Roots.
Thanks.
Oh, that's why 27.
Yes,
Open up the board.
Councillor Byrne. One to the right.
Councillor Byrne gets to move one spot to the right.
Councillor Simpson. Number
Councillor
7.
Simpson changes sides of the table. 7.
Councillor Swaffer.
And Councillor Swaffer. So if we could ask everyone to take their seats. Actually, no, that's close.
That's it, yeah.
Isn't that?
And she was the lucky one between us.
Just make it.
My son.
Everyone settled in? Okay, well, now the formalities are done. You've been through caretaker mode. All these formalities are now we can get on with the business. And start moving on with our agenda. I want to take the opportunity to thank those who nominated for the deputy mayor position. I think it's great that we have a healthy number of people wanting to aspire to that position to represent the community and show their leadership. So you should all be commended for putting your hand up and wanting to be part of, a great team. It's a great city that we're aspiring to create. So thanks, everyone, and congratulations again to Councillor Swaffer. And we will now proceed with the meeting as scheduled. So item 3 is the record of attendance, of which we have all councillors. There is a request for a leave of absence, I understand.
Yes, that would be me, Mr. Mayor.
Right.
For the next meeting, please, I would like to ask for a leave of absence as I will be on holiday in Lithuania, meeting all the Davies.
Oh. All right, we'll have to put that to a first and second. Who would like to move the Councillor Gillum? Councillor Harris, seconded. Councillor Johansson. Is anyone against Councillor Gillum going to Lithuania? No? All right, Councillor Gillum, your leave has been approved.
Thank you, everybody.
Oh, and hang on, before we start as well, I want to acknowledge Councillor Gillum for her role as deputy mayor, and thank her for all the support she gave me in my role as mayor and working myself on Virginia for the last 2 years. It's been much appreciated, and I'm excited for your new role and what you're doing, and still being a part of our table here, and also having a greater influence in the federal game in sort of promoting the Pilbara. So thank you, Councillor Gillum, for your support and your role as a deputy mayor. Really grateful. Okay, 4 is public question time. of which we had no public in the room. However, there was a question from Annabelle Little of Pexbury, who asked the following question. In March this year, I put forward a motion relating to weed management in the city of Karratha. And the question is, how is this progressing and when can we expect some final outcomes? And I'll throw to the CEO for a response.
Thank you. Yeah, so I took it on notice at the time and committed to providing a written response, which is in the record of this meeting. Just very quickly, I'll for those who are following this meeting, there was a annual electors meeting motion in March. Then there was a paper that was returned to council in May 2025, and council adopted a resolution that set some standards and expectations around moving forward in terms of our weed management practices. Since that time, the city has done a number of things in terms of its weed management, and we understand this is something that is very important to our community. We've conducted an internal review to look at how we're managing weed management. And what we will be doing is a more detailed piece of work, which I think will satisfy this particular elector's expectations, in that we do believe there is a need for a more strategic approach to weed management, how we use chemicals, where we use natural strategies. And I know there's a lot of people who are interested in traditional methods and alternative methods such as steam weeding. So what we're going to do is we are working with an expert in weed management who is going to come and do a really critical assessment of how we operate. We think we know that there's some things we can do better, but it's always helpful to have that independent view. Just in the meantime, we've also are working with the Department of Biodiversity, Conservation and Attractions and with the Pilbara Weed Management Committee, and we are looking at ways to constantly remove invasive weed species from both city managed lands and also crown lands that sit alongside that. We understand that the use of glyphosate is of particular interest to many people, and my experience in having worked for a number of other local governments is that this is a common issue that is raised with local governments. We use glyphosate because it is the most effective and it is the most effective mechanism for controlling weeds, but it does need to have safety parameters around it, and we're always having to look at alternative methods of weed management. I also understand that spraying and slashing schedules can be contentious, and we certainly get feedback around that. So we have updated our website with information on how we manage glyphosate, and we have also provided more information just on our spraying and slashing schedules as well. So look, I won't go into too much detail, but we will be bringing back to council, and I would say that it would be towards the end of the financial year, a more comprehensive weed management strategy. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you, CEO. Moving on to item 5, which is petitions, deputations and presentations, of which we have none. 6 was what I jumped forward on when I had it in my mind. So I didn't forget what Councillor Gillum asked of me before the meeting. 7 is declarations of interest, of which I'll ask each of the councillors to declare their interest. Councillor Gillum, I can.
Can you have it back? I think you have mine too.
It's in the agenda anyway, Councillor Furlong, because you declared your interest last month at the public briefing. So you can declare your interest first.
Me? Oh, sorry. I have a direct financial interest in 13.3, which is the Wickham.
That's correct.
Thank you. Shades of the multiple courts, as my husband is a Rio Tinto employee.
Furlong, Councillor Roots.
Yep, same item, agenda item 13.3. We can recap briefly. Recreation Precinct. Tender outcome, for the same reason, my partner is employed by Rio Tinto and indirect financial.
Councillors, Councillor Gillam.
I have two. The first one is under item 12.1 for the Karratha Business Enterprise Centre. This one is indirect financial. The reason is that I'm employed by RDA Pilbara, who lease the premise at Karratha Business Enterprise Centre downstairs, and the KBEC is the applicant for city sponsorship under item 12.1. And also under 13.3 for the same reasons as the other ladies, because Rio Tinto is a funding partner of this agenda item, and my husband Michael Gillam is an employee of Rio Tinto.
Thank you for that. Is there any more declarations of interest? No, or noting that they're all of financial nature. Seeks you to leave the room when they come up. That item comes up on the agenda. Okay, 8 is the confirmation of minutes and business arising from minutes of previous meetings. With recommendation that the minutes of the ordinary meeting of council held on Monday the 15th of September 2025 be confirmed as true and correct record of proceedings. Can I have someone move this motion? Councillor Furlong, seconded. Councillor Simpson. Anyone against the minutes? No, that is carried. Okay, 9 is announcements by a person presiding without discussion, which lists all the various meetings that I conducted as the mayor, and I think I gave some information on one. An award we won at the last public briefing, which I'm still chuffed about. Okay, 10 is the corporate and commercial reports, with 10.1 being the statements for period ended 31st of August 2025, with the office of recommendation the council received the financial statements for the financial period ending 31st of August 2025 as shown in attachments 1 to 4. Can I have someone move this motion? Councillor Simpson, someone to second it. Councillor Swapper. Is there anyone against the motion? Councillor Simpson, would you like to speak for the motion?
We spoke about it at the briefing session. Happy with it.
Anything to add, Councillor Swapper?
No, thank you.
No, that motion is carried. Okay, 10.2 is the list of payments from the 1st of August 2025 to the 31st of August 2025. With the officer's recommendation that council receive the list of payments totaling nearly $14.8 million as detailed in attachments 1, 2 and 3. Can I have someone move this motion?
Can I ask a quick question?
Move this motion.
Okay. I would like to move this motion.
Councillor Gillam, seconded. Councillor Simpson, is anyone against the motion? And Councillor Gillam, would you like to speak for the motion?
Can I include a question?
A question.
And or ask a
Is that
question?
okay? Excellent. Okay, I'm working with the public versions. Hold on. Don't know that I'm going to be able to find it now.
Do you remember what it was?
It was one of the, well, hang on. Oh, I'm back. Okay. It was payment number. So this question goes out to the acting strategic projects and infrastructure director.
Through the CEO.
Through the CEO, of course, sorry.
Yeah.
And it's payment number 15351. It was what looks to be a staff reimbursement. And I was just wondering, is that usual practice to be reimbursed for professional development?
It's a Cert 3 in waste management for an employee.
Yeah.
I'll take that on notice. I do believe that it probably relates to our study policy, and there may be some requirements there in terms of it's a little bit different to going to a training course. I think sometimes we require people to demonstrate they've completed a course, and then they get reimbursed after the successful completion of the course. But I'll take that one on notice and provide you with further detail.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Harris.
I too have a question. After my 2-year break, I've come back with a new enthusiasm, and and what I stand for is to try and increase the capacity of the community, right? And with these payments here, it is good to see we have the ratio of local payments. Yes, that's fantastic, and to see that we try and keep that. What I want to see though, to make life easier for me, maybe is there some way that we can distinguish when we look through the role of payments to see which ones you've classified as a local payment. Is there some way we can do that? I try to think of a way. I mean, colour coded, but it's probably a bit hard.
It's okay, councillor. If you can, that's an administrative matter. I think the suggestion is a good one. Can I take that off?
Yeah, of course.
I'll take that on notice and discuss that with the administrative team.
Yeah.
And we will revert back to council with a response on that. But thank you. Good suggestion.
Okay, is there anyone else like to speak for the motion? No? That motion has carried. 10.3 is the investments for period ended 31st of August 2025. And the office recommendation is that council receive the investment report for the financial period ended 31st of August 2025. Can I have someone move this motion? Councillor Furlong, someone to second it. Councillor Simpson. Is anyone against this motion? Councillor Furlong, would you like to speak for the motion?
Councillor Simpson says most months tracking well.
They are checking well. I might throw to Councillor Simpson, see if there's anything else to say. Would you like to speak for it?
I'll speak for it, Mr. Mayor. The tracking on well, I did ask some questions in that briefing session that were answered, which I'm happy with. The tracking along. It's quite a simple answer when you actually look at it from that perspective. But see those changes. But yeah, we are tracking on well, considering the interest rates going down. We still seem to be tracking quite good. So it's great to see. Good work.
Anyone else like to speak for the motion? Right, that motion has carried. 10.4 is the appointment to committees and advisory groups, with the office recommendation being quite lengthy, as we're looking to appoint council representatives to our council committees. The first one, now, how would we like to run through this?
I'm going to ask our governance officer to advise us. Perhaps, did you have any thoughts in terms of process?
Going through it one at a time. That was probably my approach, but
okay, well, we can do that. Well, 1A is the Audit and Risk Improvement Committee, which is a 2-year term for 4 councillors, of which being the presiding member and the mayor. I will be appointing myself to this Audit and Risk Committee, and then I'll be asking for, I guess, nominations of 3 councillors.
And Mayor, I'm thinking in terms of process, perhaps we start by asking for nominations, see if we have sufficient interest, and then you can then guide the council through the remaining process from there.
Yep. Yeah. So do I have some interested parties to fill the 3 roles on the Audit and Risk Committee? Councillor Swaffer as the new Deputy Mayor is probably an appropriate appointment. Councillor Harris. That's 2.
I was on it the last 2 years, so I'm happy to.
Would you like to continue in that role? Councillor Simpson fills the gap. No one else.
And Katia, it was the mayor who was the 4th name there.
Yes.
And even though we have got 4 names there, I think it would be worth just exploring whether there are others that are interested as well.
Yeah. Were there any others interested in numbers and risk?
Very exciting.
It's getting more exciting.
It is. It's going to risk and everything. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, if that's done, we'll move on to B, which is the. Sorry, hang on. I know they've got the CEO performance review, but that's all of. We determined last year that's all of council, so all of council will be involved in the CEO's performance review, and that is a 2-year term. So I've appointed. We've appointed you all to that. You're welcome. B is the council advisory and working groups, with the first one being the Arts Development and Events Advisory Group for a 2-year term, and we need 2 councillors for that. However, we can have more than 2 if others are interested in.
Is that correct? Through the director?
Chair, I believe the terms of reference have actually been updated
That's only an hour.
for two. So
What's the point of having all this retained knowledge?
It's, and that's to be consistent with our other reference.
Okay, so it's a two position committee or working group. So who, Councillor Furlong is interested and Councillor Roots is interested. Is there anyone else that's interested in the Arts Development and Events Advisory Group? I can't think of two better candidates, to be frank. Okay, so we have Councillor Furlong and Councillor Roots. The next one is the Environment and Sustainability Advisory Group. This is also a 2-year term for 2 councillors. There are 3. Oh, yeah, it says 2, but there are 3 positions. Can I get clarification on how many positions there are?
Legal question. I'm going to pass to governance to confirm that.
Someone has to scoot down the term of reference.
Currently it's
Currently it's 2.
So,
We've got 2.
yeah. So, Mayor, I would suggest, given we've got the text of 2 and the terms of reference says 2, let's continue on
says
that
2.
basis. Yeah.
Okay, I need 2 candidates for the Environment and Sustainability Advisory Group. Councillor Swaffer. Anyone else? No further interest in the environment, sustainability. We're doing a fair bit. We'll be doing it in this space.
We will do.
We will. Yeah, obviously. Here we go. Councillor Byrne.
Councillor.
Okay, any other interest in that group? No. Next one is the Point Sampson Advisory Group, which is a 2-year term just for 1 councillor. Councillor Furlong, thank you. Take on the Eastern Corridor for us.
Thank you. Yeah,
Is there any?
let's change.
Anyone else who's interested in the position? No? All right, the Youth Advisory Group. Yes, Councillor Roots.
Can I just check, is that just in case we need a backup person?
Yes, is there any proxies for these?
Through the chair, I don't have a copy of the terms of reference, but I believe there is a proxy for that particular.
Yeah, for the Point Sampson.
Yes, advisory group.
There should be a proxy. Maybe we'll confirm that first. And
I think given that it is one person,
well, if there's one person,
you don't have someone else in council to represent.
So I might stand corrected. I think it was if the councillor nominated to the advisory group couldn't attend, then it would be put out to other councillors.
Right. Yeah. Right. So to the group. Okay. That answers your question, Councillor Roots. The next one is the Youth Advisory Group, which is a 2-year term, and it's for 3 councillors. The Youth Space, Councillor Furlong. Councillor Roots is interested. Anyone else interested in the Youth Advisory Group? It isn't necessary either to have full, because these groups can get quite large with attendance from external sort of industry parties. But just 2 for the Youth Advisory Group. All right, then we move on to C, which is the external groups that we have. The first one is the Murujuga Rock Art Stakeholder Reference Group. Is there anyone that's interested in this? Councillor Gillam? Anyone else interested in that? Councillor Gillam, you can have that position. I will note though that if you are not available, you can go to the group, and I'm interested to keep an eye on it.
Oh, you're welcome to do it if you'd like.
No, that's fine. No, I want the councillors around the table to be exposed and to be doing things within the community. As the mayor, I already have a large workload. Next one is the Pilbara Ports Community Consultation Group. Is a 2-year term. we have a meeting at that would be quarterly, aren't they? Quarterly,
Yeah.
Quarterly meeting with Pilbara reports. That's a community consultation group. Anyone interested in that? Councillor Simpson. Next is the Pilbara Regional Road Group, sorry. 2-year term. This is where you get to have a meeting with those people involved in main roads and from other shires around the place, talking all things roads.
How often, Mr. Mayor?
That one's
Twice a year.
Is it always in Headlands?
you can do it on Teams. They prefer to meet in person, but like anything these days. I attended one meeting on behalf of Councillor Watersham Muller, and quite a few people were on Teams. But yeah, most of the time, where are they held most of the time?
I think Port Hedland sounds familiar.
It does, yeah.
I'll nominate for the roads.
Councillor Harris, it's an important job.
Platform, they want me to fix the road to Dampier.
Oh, yes.
You know, that's what I found.
The pothole near the airport.
Yeah, well, that's the right committee for it, mate.
Yeah. At the moment, Main Roads have told me that if any boat comes on the trailer, they're happy to go and pick it up.
The boat?
There's not quite on the list on their budget to repair immediately. So yes, Councillor Harris, I would like you to be on that committee and give them help. Right. Next is the Regional Development Assessment Panel, of which currently that we have myself and Councillor Simpson
So you
are
do
the
need to
trained,
be trained, yeah.
are the trained individuals, and our term ends in January. I'm keen to stay on that development assessment panel. Councillor Simpson, you're still trained. You still happy to see out your term at the very least. Yep. We need a couple of proxies. Councillor Gillam, Councillor Swaffer. Okay. No one else interested in that? No debate. All right. Next is the Rio Tinto Coastal Communities Environment Forum. Okay. Councillor Furlong.
It's my hometown.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Councillor Furlong. Anyone else interested in that? No? Next is the WA Local Government Association Pilbara Zone 2-year term. Now, notice there's only one nomination there. Is that there's normally two? There's normally two people.
Was it normally you? The mayor and one, isn't it?
The mayor and one. Yeah. So, am I just already on there? I am already on there.
I think you are.
Yeah,
by
right.
default. Yeah.
Right. So, and I would actually recommend that this appointment be the deputy mayor, because it's Walga. The Pilbara zone, and I've got a feeling that City of Karratha needs to take a bit more lead on that. Unless there's anyone else that's interested in taking on the
Councillor Johansson was doing.
Councillor Johansson was doing it previously. Councillor Johansson, do you have an appetite to?
No, it makes more sense for the deputy mayor. Yeah.
Okay. Did you nominate, or did I nominate you?
Both.
Need to watch on the replay.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Next is the WA Local Government Association State Council. That should be struck off, because that appointment is the chair of the Pilbara zone, which is in the near future the next ballot.
Yeah, next meeting we'll pick a chair
around the table to pick the chair of the Pilbara zone. Next is the Wickham Key Stakeholders Meeting, which is a 2-year term. Anyone interested in the Eastern Corridor, or Councillor Johansson, were you already on that one?
That's what I've been on, yeah.
That's what you've been on. Do you want to continue that role?
I'm happy to, if no one else.
I'm happy to as well, but either way.
If you want it, look at it. Thanks. What's the outcome next?
Stay on it, or?
No, I'm handing it over.
That's the third one.
Change of eyes.
All right, the next one is the Woodside Community
It worked well.
Liaison Group, which is a 2-year term, talking all things Woodside with our community. Councillor Johansson, would you like to be on this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Councillor Johansson on the Woodside Community Liaison Group. Okay. That's the list. Unless there's anyone that's got an urging need all of a sudden to be involved in anything else.
So just to the governance officers, we're talking about making an amendment to the table because you're wanting to delete something. So how do we formally need to do that?
Just simply,
Move the
just, you can move the amendment without the state council item being listed.
Yeah, I think let me get through. We haven't got the table item on the table yet, so we'll go through the rest of it now that we've filled those tables, and then we can talk about amendments. So number 2 is the review of the terms of reference of all the advisory groups to ensure that their aims, objectives, and key deliverables are clear and up to date. With the revised updated terms of reference to be presented to council for consideration following these bodies' first meeting after this resolution. So we'll be reviewing the terms of reference, just for clarity, reviewing the terms of reference after the first meeting of each group, because then you have the group as a whole gets to go through the terms of reference. 3 is adopt the terms of reference as amended for the Arts Development and Events Advisory Group. 4 is require council representatives attending external groups to report back to council. And 5, require any minutes or reports from all committees and groups to be tabled at the next meeting of council following the finalisation of minutes for that committee or group. Can I someone move this motion? Councillor Simpson. Someone to second the motion? Councillor Harris. Right, now we have an amendment to be made to the motion, and that is deleting the item in the external groups table, deleting the WA Level Government Association State Council 2-year term. Can I have someone move this amendment? Councillor Swaffer, someone to second it. Councillor Simpson. This is now the substantive motion. So is there anyone against the amended motion? No? Right. Well, the amended motion has now been carried. Okay. 10.5 has been withdrawn from the October agenda for Rowan Community Resource Centre. Rates write-off. CEO, did you want to speak to this at all?
Oh, look, only that the officers wanted to do a little bit more work on this, and we'll be bringing it back to council in November. So we're just effectively deferring it by 1 month.
Okay. 10.6 is the key performance measure results for 2024-2025. The officer's recommendation that council receive the annual performance report for 2024-25. Have someone move this motion? Councillor Harris. Someone to second the motion? Councillor Swaffer. Is there anyone against the motion? No? Councillor Harris. Would you like to speak for the motion?
Yeah, well, most things are tracking quite well. Obviously, there's a few there that need to be looked at, but in reviewing all those things, it all looks pretty good. And yeah, it's just the ratios, I think, with the assets that sort of continually doesn't quite meet its targets.
If that's a question, councillor, the asset sustainability ratio is actually a ratio that is difficult for most councils to achieve. By the way, it's been crafted by the Department of Local Government, and it is currently under review. So I would just suggest that council shouldn't be concerned about our asset sustainability. And we can revert back to you with a bit more detail as to how those ratios are being developed and improved by the department.
But other than that, it's all tracking really well. And thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Harris. Councillor Swapper, anything further to add?
No, I think we had a good discussion at the public briefing.
Fair enough. All right, that motion has carried. 10.7 is the 2026 council meeting dates with the opposite recommendation spread over pages 58, 59. And that is council approved and advertised the following schedule of 2026 meeting dates for the ordinary council meeting and the public agenda briefing session. Noting meetings commence at 6 p.m. here in council chambers on Welcome Road, Karratha. You've got a table of all the proposed public briefing session dates and the ordinary council dates. The next thing is that we're going to advertise the annual electors meeting for Tuesday, the 3rd of February 2026, commencing at 6 p.m. in council chambers. And 3, note the following schedule of the 2027 meeting dates for both the ordinary council meeting and the public agenda briefing session, with meetings commencing at 6 p.m. here in council chambers. Can I have someone move this motion? Councillor Swaffer, someone do second the motion. Councillor Furlong. Right, the motion is on the table. I do have in front of me, and you all share in front of you a proposed amendment for 10.7. The amendment has been recommended by Councillor Swaffer, and that is that item 2 of the offered recommendation be amended to read, advertise the annual electors meeting for not the 3rd of February, but the 9th of February, commencing at 6 p.m. And Councillor Swaffer's reason for this amendment is by amending the date from Tuesday, the 3rd of February 2026 to Monday, the 9th of February 2026, it better aligns with councillors' existing commitments, making it more convenient for both the public and councillors to attend. With the officer's comment being the date of 9th of February 2026 will be the latest date to which council must hold its annual electors meeting without breaching its legislative obligations contained within section 5.27 of the Local Government Act 1995. Is there anyone that would like to move this amended motion? Councillor Roots, seconded. Councillor Swaffer. Is there anyone against this proposed amendment? No. Councillor Roots, would you like to speak for it?
I just believe it's a sensible change to be able to consider. We had such a wonderful turnout this year, and I think we'd like to see the same again next year.
Thank you. Councillor Swaffer, it's your amendment. Would you like to say anything?
I would. It is definitely, it'll be week 1 of school back in 2026, and I think a lot of families will find that quite difficult with all of their priorities and conflicting priorities already, and potentially children having, a little bit of breakdown going back to school for day 1. So I think stepping it out for an extra week will, give them the opportunity to attend without that being conflicting.
Yeah, still fits within the legislative timeframes. Right, well, this has been moved and seconded. No one against this. This is a substantive motion. If there's no one against the motion, that motion has carried. Okay, 10.8 is withdrawn notice of motion for financial accountability audit. Councillor Jansen, CEO, do you have anything to add to this?
Look, only just to mention, clearly this was put and then withdrawn by councillor. I am concerned that there is a statement that's been put into the public arena talking about financial accountability audits relating to our management of water. I'd just like to make it very clear to council that we can discuss the nature of these of the questions that were raised here, and we can bring further information back into the public domain if it is requested. The quarter and all of the assets around the quarter and the fees and structures around how that is managed, including the paid parking component of that, be it paid, be it free, in its entirety is managed as a commercial asset. That commercial asset has continued to return excellent returns for the city. It's easy to go through and I suppose re-prosecute decisions that might have been made, but there are pros and cons for each of these elements. So once again, happy to pick that up. I'm happy to bring that back into the public domain. There's nothing to be concerned about here. And there is, having worked in an inner city council, the idea of paid parking is actually quite a scientific area in its own right, and there are a lot of different dimensions that go into successful paid parking models which haven't been prosecuted or haven't been explored in the city of Karratha. So I'd just be cautious about drawing any conclusions from that without having a more detailed briefing on it from a council perspective.
Okay, thank you, CEO. Next is we're moving to 11, which is the community experience reports with 11.1, the extended hours for library services pilot. With the officer's recommendation, the council approve a 12-month extension of the hours of the Karratha Library, effective from February 2026, with the opening hours being 7 p.m. on a Tuesday and Thursday, and Sunday access from 9 to 2 p.m. And 2, approved by absolute majority an unbudgeted allocation of $67,000 for an additional half full-time equivalent and a one-off $7,000 training cost for all Karratha Library staff to meet the liquor licensing requirements and to be identified during the next budget review. Can I have someone move this motion? Councillor Roots, someone to second it? Councillor Simpson. Now I have been provided, as you all should have as well, with an amendment to this recommendation from Councillor Jansen. Yes. And that is that council approve a 12-month extension of hours at the Karratha Library effective on the same date, same month and year, February 2026, with the opening hours remain the same from 7 p.m. on Tuesday and Thursday, but with the amendment for Sunday access from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. instead of the 9 to 2 p.m. And 2, by absolute majority, an unbudgeted allocation of $67,000 for half an FTE, which is the same. 3, an additional 3 is approve a 12-month extension of hours at the Wickham Library, effective from February 2026, with the opening hours until 5 p.m. on a Tuesday and Thursday, and Sunday access from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And 4, approved by absolute majority an unbudgeted allocation of $60,000 for an additional half full-time equivalent at the Wickham Library to be identified during the next budget review. Can I have someone move the proposed amendment? Councillor Johansson. Does someone like to second this? Councillor Furlong. Is there anyone? Actually, what I might throw to first is to you, the CEO. We don't have an administrative response to this.
Yeah, so the first thing we need to do in order to have a legislatively accurate recommendation is we need to have a very clear reason for that amendment. So that's been provided.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I haven't received that.
Short.
With short. Are you able to provide that to the room, councillor, just to ensure that we're meeting that regulatory requirement?
Yeah, part of it was just the change of hours on Sunday is because there's different user groups on Sundays versus Saturdays. We lose a large percent of the community to market activities. You lose the church sort of community groups on a Sunday morning. They're occupied for a couple of hours on Sunday mornings. You also lose the families a lot while the weather's getting warmer. A lot of the families are getting out to the playgrounds a bit more in the early hours. So, and I think when you talk to some of the older kids, like the youth, if they're having a Saturday night at the football or, parties on Saturday night, they're not really getting up till lunchtime the next day. So I think starting earlier on the morning on the Sunday, you're missing a large section of the community that, wouldn't be using it during those hours. And then the Wickham thing was because when I scroll back through from memory, the June meeting we had, the initial trial for the 24-hour library was going to be Wickham. Now, speaking to a few people out there that sort of feel like they've missed out on this opportunity because they were going to be getting a 24-hour library trial to now Karratha's hours only being extended. So I think it's responsible of us to represent all our communities and, still proceed with an extended hours sort of period out there so we can trial to see if there is uptake in Wickham as well as here.
And through the chair, the other part of an amendment is advice from administration to council to assist you in your decision making. So I suppose I just want to make it clear to council and to the community that the administration is supportive of the amendment and subject to council feeling that they're prepared to make that budget allocation. Administration can make it happen. We'll decide this is a priority for you.
Okay. Everyone clear on that? CEO comfortable we've met the requirements?
Thank you.
Okay, so we have who moves it? Councillor Johansson moves it, seconded by Councillor Furlong. So the amendment is on the table. Is there anyone against this amendment? No. Well, the amendment has been carried. Thank you for that. All right, moving on to 12. 12.1 is the Karratha Business Enterprise Centre, of which Councillor Gillum was to leave the room at 7:16 p.m. Okay, so the officer's recommendation here is that council approve a 2-year funding request to Karratha Business Enterprise Centre as follows. The Enterprise Hub Karratha sponsorship for 25-26, we recommend that being $20,000, and the Enterprise Hub Karratha sponsorship for also for the years 26-27, being an additional $20,000. And 2 is to approve a budget allocation of $20,000 excluding GST per year for 2 years from the business development support grant budget commencing in the year 2025-26. Can someone move this motion? Councillor Roots, someone second it. Councillor Swaffer. Is there anyone against this funding request? No. Councillor Roots, would you like to speak for it?
Certainly. I think it's a very fair amount for what this particular organisation provides for our community. We have lots of micro to small, medium businesses in town. And while it is a very specific business that does utilise this space, it's proven itself to be very valuable. So I think it's a fair amount for us to invest in.
Thank you, Councillor Roots. Councillor Swaffer, anything further to add?
I would just like to echo Councillor Roots. It's been a well utilised organisation and space for small to micro businesses. So
yes, thank you. And they are expanding.
Mm-hmm.
And as most of us know, a micro business can turn into a big business. Should it have the right sort of incubator to support it. Okay, there's no one against that motion. That motion has carried. Okay, we get Councillor Gillum back into the room, please. So Gillum returns at 7:19 p.m. Councillor Gillum, that motion was passed. 12.2 is the housing development expression of interest closure. with the officer's recommendation, the council agree not to receive business plans for the following proposals, which were previously shortlisted under our housing development expression of interest process for business plan preparation at the October 2024 ordinary council meeting for the written proponents. They are AYR International to acquire 57 Balmoral Road and invest up to 16.8 million to construct a proposed mixed-use development, inclusive of 31 residential properties and commercial space to be owned and managed by the city. B is Macro Capital. They intended to construct up to 34 townhouses on the city-owned land at 51 Gregory Way in Bulgara, an estimated cost of 13.8 million to be owned and managed by the city. And C is the Davison property to acquire lots 633 and 678 in Gingari in Nickel and invest $55 million to construct a housing project by development including 20 group townhouses, 10 houses and 87 group dwellings, also to be owned and managed by the city. 2 is to endorse the closure of the housing development expression of interest process. 3 is to agree to discontinue discussions with Development WA to progress the cooperation housing proposal, and that no further report to council is required to consider the potential acquisition of land to enable the cooperative housing proposal. And 4 is to resolve to continue to engage with interested parties on ad hoc housing development proposals where the city can play a role in enabling or facilitating the development. Now, for context, for those listening online, we are not refusing housing proposals within the city of Karratha. We simply proceeded with other development proposals that came forward into the mix, and we have endorsed to proceed with a couple of them. And these ones, we need to close out this process in order to sort of direct the administration that we're not going down that path of the housing development expression of interest anymore. Right, so can I please have someone to move this motion? Councillor Roots, someone to second it? Councillor Furlong, is anyone against this motion? Councillor Roots, would you like to speak for it?
I'd love to, thank you. Happy to move this motion for the opportunity to thank Air, Macro, Davison Property and also the Housing Co-op for coming forward and putting their skin in the game and trying to be part of something that was really so wonderful. And to double that thanks to the administration and the legacy of a wonderful employee who sits moved on in particular. And his team, Project Dorothy, was something that I'm very proud to have been able to be a part of. And I think it's basically just responsible to close this out formally. But we can see, thanks to the awards that the City of Karratha has received, all of the information we've been privileged to receive as a council, that, you know, they are some of the biggest decisions I know that I'll be a part of making in my life. So we just wanted to thank the administration for being able to, instead of sitting around waiting for other government parties and other stakeholders to do something about the crisis, that we were able to take that lead.
Councillor Roots, and yes, very good words. Councillor Furlong.
It's going to be hard to add to that. I suppose the only other thing I would like to add is now that we have our council plan finished for 2025 to 2035, our focus is on next phase of growth.
Yeah, our budget only extends so far, and the whole government can be part of housing solutions, but they should not be the only party involved and interested in housing solutions within our city. Okay, there's no one against that motion, and that is carried. Oh, I pressed the wrong button here. That's right. Okay, 13 is the projects and infrastructure reports. 13.1 being a request to call for tenders for cleaning services. The officer's recommendation, the council agreed to invite tenders for cleaning service for a period of 3 years with 2 by 1 year extension options, exercisable at the sole discretion of the city in accordance with the scope of works as outlined in this report. Can I have someone move this motion? Councillor Roots, someone to second it? Councillor Harris, is anyone against the motion to call for tenders? Tony? No? Councillor Roots, would you like to speak for it?
Service.
That indeed it is.
It was great for us to be able to reach out to those who have tendered in this space previously to make sure that they're captured in the ability to tender for the process.
Councillor Roots, Councillor Harris, anything further to add?
No, not too much. Just, obviously it's an integral part of the community to have someone to clean up. And obviously gives option for local cleaning companies to tender in parts or in whole. So it's fantastic.
Harris, there's no against that motion has passed. 13.2 is the Wickham boat ramp scope for confirmation and budget forecast adjustment, with the officer's recommendation that council endorse the preferred concept design option of a Ripper dual lane boat ramp with a finger jetty and a sealed car park at the Wickham Boat Beach, aligning the service provisions at comparable locations across the city, and progress to detailed design. And 2, agreed to update the long-term financial plan to reflect the estimated construction costs of $6.862 million to be allocated across both the 26-27 and 27-28 financial years. Can I have someone move this motion? Councillor Roots, I'm going to second it. Councillor Simpson. Anyone against the Wickham boat ramp? No? Councillor Roots, would you like to speak for it?
Just to call out that there's always 3 opinions of every motion, I would say, and there have been voiced to me some frustrations that this was not a local business working here. I do want to thank the community who are the primary users for being engaged in the process to make sure that we could get this as right as possible in a way that see the longevity of this asset, not just as a City of Karratha asset, but as something that will play a big role in a lot of our community's lives.
Thank you, Councillor Roots. Councillor Simpson?
Nothing more to add, but Councillor Roots sort of summed it up, and I think voting is a big part of our community, so and hopefully we can find some other money from those grants to help bring this project to fruition.
Yes, it's important that we can allocate some budget, but there are grants available and we should pursue them. What I'd like to add is that I'm so happy our team listened to the community in the way that we are well organised up here and we know how to park. So the idea of a sealed car park with no lines and that we can fit more cars and boats in a car park, working it out ourselves, I thought really showed faith in the community and our abilities to work it out ourselves. Right, if there's no one against that, that motion has carried. 13.3 is the Wickham Recreation Precinct multi-purpose court shade construction tender outcome, of which Councillor Furlong, Councillor Gillam and Councillor Roots declared interest and need to leave the room. It's 7:28 p.m. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. The officer's recommendation is that council accept the tender submitted by Emerge Proprietary Limited as the most advantageous tender to form a contract based on assessment of the compliance criteria, quality criteria, and pricing structures offered under RFT 46, the Wickham Recreation Precinct Multi-Courts Shade. 2, authorise the CEO to execute a contract with Emerge subject to any variations of minor nature and to Rio Tinto Iron Ore confirming the funding for these court shades. And 3, note the project budget estimate is revised down to $6.2 million and the project is to be fully reimbursed by Rio Tinto and allocated across this financial year and 2026 as follows in the table below, with the budget being 2.75 million in 26-27, backwards, and 3.45 million in 25-26, and with the Rio Tinto contribution over those 2 years to fully fund the court shade construction. Can I have someone please move this motion? Councillor Swaffer, someone second it. Councillor Harris. Is there anyone against the tender outcome? No. Councillor Swaffer, would you like to speak for it?
It's just great to see this progressing. We can have been calling for this to occur for a long time, so it's great that it's coming to fruition. And yeah, I think that the design and the consultation that has occurred through this project has been really thought out, and community that has been involved, and the user groups that have been involved. So I think it will be a project that will be well received by the community.
You're more than welcome to announce it at the Sports Awards if you want, because I announced it 2 years ago. Clearly, I couldn't get it done. So thank you, Councillor Swaffer, for moving that. Councillor Harris, anything further to add?
No, nothing more. Just we obviously live in the sunniest place in the world, so shade is key to getting people to use these facilities. So it'd be great if we can.
Thank you, Councillor Harris. Right, there's no one against that. That motion has carried. We need to get our councillors back in the room. Okay. Councillor Gillum, Furlong and Roots returned at 7:30 p.m. That motion was carried. Okay, 13.4 is the construction and delivery of my favourite program we have, footpaths. The tender outcome for that, and the officer's recommendation is that council accept the tender submitted by NWMC Mining and Civil as the most advantageous tender to form a contract based on the assessment of compliance criteria, quality criteria and pricing structures offered under RFT 40 for construction and delivery of the footpath program. And 2, authorise the CEO to execute a contract with NWMC Mining and Civil, subject to any variations of a minor nature. Can I have someone move this motion? Councillor Swaffer, someone to second it? Councillor Simpson. Is there anyone against this motion? All the proposed streets? No? Okay, that motion has. Oh, well, hang on. Councillor Swaffer, would you like to speak for it?
I'd love to. And I think it's great. It's a great way to connect our community. The officer's presentation that we received at the public briefing was really well detailed as well, and it showed, visually where these paths are going and the connection that it will create around our community. So that'd be my only thing, to make sure that that's added to our final copy of the minutes as well, so that others can see that visual representation of where they're going to connect our community.
All right, that motion has passed. 14. Oh, I did click it. 14. There we go. Is the CEO reports. 14.1 is the items of information only, with the officer's recommendation that council note the following information items. 14.1, the community experience update for August, the concession on fees for city facilities, the development services update for August 2025, and the October 2025 public briefing notes and table of report changes. Can I say, have someone move this? Councillor Gillum, seconded. Councillor Furlong, negativity on the CEO reports. This is your time.
Comment.
All right, but is any, would you like to Councillor Gillum, is there anything you'd like to say about any of the reports?
Just a comment from me around the security subsidy scheme. Massive uptake in the 12 months from July 25 to August 25, and I think perhaps that means it's time to have a look at the amount that we offer as a rebate.
Yep.
So it's great to see the upswing, and perhaps we should look more into that, about what we can do to encourage more in the community to apply for that subsidy.
that offline, CEO, give us the council, to those that are not around the table, an update on that policy that we have
Yeah, sure.
around the security subsidised
Yeah,
scheme.
And through the chair, we have 2 points in the this financial year where council can influence the allocation of budgets. The first is we have a workshop in November where we start to craft the 26-27 budget. And then in March, we have a series of quite in-depth budget discussions. So that's certainly up to council to bring that put those forward if you're not seeing it come through from administration.
Me.
Furlong. Nothing to add?
Nothing to add, no.
No one else wants to add anything on the CEO reports? Right, that is carried. 15 motions of which previous notice has been given. There are none. 16 questions by members of which due notice has been given. There are none. 17 is urgent business approved by the person presiding or by decision. I don't have anything. 18 is matters behind closed doors, but there are just attachments to some of our reports. So then we move on to 19, which is the closure and date of the next meeting. So I turn the meeting has closed at 6:35 p.m. 7:35 p.m. Thank you. I don't know how I missed it. I'm looking right at it.
Yeah.
7:35 p.m. And that the next OCM will be held on Monday, the 24th of November at 6 p.m. at Council Chambers. So thank you, everybody.
Fantastic.
The meeting has closed.
Yeah.